Okay, we're back. I'm here. And for those of you who are with me, I'm going to finish this. I'm not going to talk about what happened or give any explanations. I am going to continue with what we have to say on this evening. This is Grace L. Holden, and I'm back with each and every one of you. I titled this Dirty Little Secrets number 4. The original title was Oh, the Tricks That They Play. And I was talking about the whole field, the whole world and arena of sex trafficking. And so I'm going to finish talking about the arena of sex trafficking on this evening. From part 1 broadcast to part 2's broadcast, I've had messages and people telling me this is their night. And remember, I told you I'm going to come down your lane one of these nights, your alley. This is Grace L. Holden with Dirty the Book. We are on a journey. I've explained the journey. We started off with Dirty Little Secret number 1, molestation. Talked about rape in that. We went on to trust issues. We went on then to bullying, and I had some amazing stories shared with me about bullying. And then tonight we're talking about sex trafficking and the tricks that they play to coerce you. And this isn't just my story. This is for each and every one of you. These are all the dirty little secrets that you could find in my book, Dirty the Book. And I know that we start off popular and we kind of go the other direction, maybe not as many views or likes, but trust me, this is something you want to stick out to the end. You want to be a part of this. We are so glad you've joined us. I am so glad for the people that are with me on this evening, the pastors, the leaders, my pastor, my coach, to each and every one of you. I don't know if my publisher came on here, but to all of you, I want to say thank you for joining me. We have some stuff that we need to talk about. So how did they do it to me? And how have they done it to you? Or to the people you know? Yes, give me those hearts and those likes. You know, those are for me, right? But the share button down there, click that. And I know it seems a little chaotic, a little confused, because there was a few different little live videos. The first one, the longest one, is part 1. And then this is part 2. And we are going to get through part 2. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. Just trust me on this one. So let's talk about it. I was a little girl who looked down all the time. I was the one who was not cute. I was an ugly duckling. I didn't have the nice clothes and the nice shoes at this time. I did early in my young life, but at this time, this is a time where my parents had split up. This is a time where I was living in an apartment complex. And I didn't have much, and I was in middle school, junior high, going into high school. I was around 15 years old. I had already been molested, was in that place where that was something I was more used to than not, that had become my norm. So I want to share with you, thank you for everybody who is on. Thank you for coming back on with me. If you didn't catch the first one, I set this up already and gave some information. In the first one, this is part 2. Oh, the tricks that they play. Coercion, and that is any type of commercial sex that is against your will. If you are coerced, forced, or unwillingly did that, that is sex trafficking. There is so much of it in the world today. There's 4.5 million people worldwide that we are aware of that is sex trafficked. At first we thought it was something out of the country only. Well, as you know, I am closer to 50 than not, and this happened that many years ago for me. That is over 30 years ago, when we didn't know what that was. No, I didn't have a pimp or anything like that. My friend Juanita and I and other girls in the neighborhood and boys in the neighborhood, We were just those kids who needed something, and they saw that. I don't believe that these guys even lived there. I could tell by the way it was. I'm trying to remember more of it than not now because I had pushed it away and aside. But let me tell you, remember when we talked about trust? If you don't remember, catch that video. That video is video number 2. And so I don't believe that this necessarily was a form of trust. It was a form of low self-esteem, insecurities, familiar spirits, familiar things, familiar, situations in my life that I was used to. And so as such, even though I was a little girl and I was molested and it wasn't good and it wasn't good for me, as I began to grow older, those things became attached to me. So push the like and the faces and the wows and whatever it is so I'll know that you're there, the hearts. And I know this is speaking to you because others have told me. A male has told me this is speaking to him. So when I went into this apartment, when I was told they were going to buy me clothes and they were going to get my hair done and those sorts of things, and that stuff didn't come right away. They strung it along for quite some time, several months. They would come and find us. They would look for us. They would meet us right after school. They would have music playing. They would have food in there, things for us. TV would be on in the front room. That was normal TV, but in the back rooms it was sexual pornography. Those sorts of things were on the TV. Earlier I had said we wanted to talk about young people being on this particular Facebook Live. Some of the other ones are censored and I've asked that they not. But trust me, they start this at ages 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and through adults. Many people who are sex trafficked, they go on to prostitution. They go on to dancing in the clubs. One of the things I really love to do and I really like to do then and I still love to do now is I love to dance. Those of you who are around me and you know me, you know I like to dance, but just imagine what that's like when it's taken into some other arena that is not good. So this dirty little secret, this one right here, the one for you that I know this is for and for your awareness, even if this did not happen to you or if you're not aware of this, let me share with you this dirty little secret can change your life. So I am saying this to you because it could change your life to be down a path that you do not want to go down, where you exchange your body, yourself, your thoughts, your mind, your soul, your spirit, all those things start to become exchanged for trickery and bribery. Your life can turn into drug usage, permanent drug usage for some. You can again become have a sexual addiction. You can have a twisted thought of what was supposed to be good to be bad. It can affect your life when you go on to be married, when you are engaged or want to be engaged in a serious relationship and not engaged like the engagement, but a part of. And so let me know that you are here with me this evening, that you are listening, because there's something I need to share with you. There's something really important that you'll need to hear out of this. There are some signs that I want you to look for. I'm not just sharing a testimony, and it is wonderful that each and every person who has reached out to me has some connection to this, because this is what it's about. The dirty truth is about hope. It's about going from being a victor from a victim to a victor. But there are some things that you really need to know. There's some very important things that you need to look for. We talked about signs and bullying. We talked about trust before. We talked about molestation, and that's not okay, and what to look for. And so, hi. Hello, Beverly. We talked about, I'm good. We talked about all those things. I need to tell you in sex trafficking what to look for. So I remember when we used to always say, stranger danger, watch out, watch out. Well, this is another one of those situations where they look very normal. Sometimes the men do not approach you. Sometimes they send women or young girls to approach you, girls even your age. They're forced to come out into the neighborhood, onto the streets. They see you. You may have ran away, had a bad time, or you're lonely. If you ever think about running away, think about it. I'm going to say a funny. Just try not to do it at night, but don't do it during the day either. But seriously, these are the things that they look for. They're looking for someone who looks lost. They're looking for someone who doesn't give eye contact. You could find this on so many sex trafficking websites. They're looking for a person who looks like they have a need. If you're in a low poverty area, low income housing, or if you're in a neighborhood or the hood or any place where there seems to be a deficiency, if it looks like you don't have good shoes or your hair is not done or your clothes are bad, they specifically look for those things. So I want you to understand that they are predators. They are seeking after the children and adults, both boys and girls. So pay attention to the signs. Do not ignore them. Do not think that this isn't about you. Remember, I talked about Dads the movement, Dads Against Dirty, that when men stand up and they are in their place, women will follow. We women all the time will stand up and we will speak to these things, and we will be a voice. But we need everybody to come forth together. This is a major call. This is a national movement. This isn't just me on the line. This is huge. I want you to know that this is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. Right now, we are about awareness, saving lives, being a voice, and changing and stopping the violence. Stop. So I want you to understand what I'm sharing with you. This is not a joke. I am fortified for this time. This is not something that I'm playing around with. This is heavy, and this is serious. That this is real. And right now I want you to understand what it looks like. So you've heard me say what's on the inside of the places. You probably would have never known if you haven't been there. And some of you, you've been there. So you know what it looks like inside. But let me tell you what it looks like inside of my mind as a little person, when I was a little person. It looked like an escape. It looked glamorous. It looked good. I didn't understand how bad it was for me. It seemed like the alternative. It was something that was more forced than I thought. It was a mind game. It was a mind trick. So what do we do when we recognize this? To the parents, to the adults, to the teachers, to everybody who's out there, to law enforcement, to those of you who have other organizations, I would like you to understand what I'm getting ready to say. For those who are victims, we can't hear you when you give information only. We need you to be with us. We need you to be in our space. We need hand holding. We need you to be there with us. And so how do you do that? What you do is when you have access to us face to face, whether it's at school, whether it's in the grocery store, whether we're at on a field trip, or there is something that at school is going on and there's announcements being made, we need you to come to us and do a check. If someone had walked to me, maybe touched me, maybe had said something to me or came close to me and said, these things are not good for you, let me tell you what they are. Had you showed me videos, had you had conversations about these things, I would have noticed them. I don't know how much of that you would have had to do to get my attention. But if you had spoken to me, if my parents had said anything to me about my self-worth, about what those things are and they're not good, then I might have noticed it. So these are conversations we need to have. Often we don't want to have the conversation because we don't want to plant something in our children's mind. But I've been in this long time helping others, counseling people. This is the time where we need to speak up. This is the time where we need to talk. Are you out there? Is anybody out there? If you're still with me, we're almost done. I just want you to know some very important things that are happening in the minds of the young people. They feel this is the alternative. There's never too many good programs. There's never too many park days. There's never too many back to school programs. Those are the things that gave me a reality check. It takes a village, and it's not just words. I mean this. It really takes a village to raise the nation's next leaders, next generation, next healthy children. And so while we are taking care of our own home, and all of my kids have done very well, we have parented them, we have been there for them, we were parenting them from the moment they came out, we prayed for them, we had people around. Trust me when I say even all of that's still not enough. We have got to continue to bring awareness. What I would love to see is the sex trafficking organizations, the bullying organizations, the domestic violence organizations, the child molestations, the counselors, the clinicians, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the LPCs, the LMFTs, y'all know who you are, the LCSWs, the licensed clinicians, everybody. I wish we could do one thing. This is my hope, and this is what I'm fighting for, that we can have a national Stop the Violence Stop Day, that we will have one day a year that we will all come together as a major voice, and we will have a major force. And together, the signs connect together. I told you my journey. I started off being molested by my father. I was then raped by my uncle, his brother, who came to hang out and stay with us for a couple of months at the house. And my mom told me she made him leave because he made a pass on her. But they did not know what happened to me. Then from there, I had such low self-esteem. I had such low self-esteem after being molested, after being raped. I was bullied so badly. Remember sticks and stones, the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names or words will never hurt me. That is not true. They hurt. They do. Remember the lady I told you about today? She wanted to die most of the time because it was so brutal and so painful. So they do. We need our churches. We need everybody around us to rally together. And we need to educate. There's a lot more to the signs, what they look for. And then when your children come home with something new that you didn't buy, or they come home with something new that you didn't know where it came from, or they say they borrowed. I said this often. I borrowed someone else's sweater, or I borrowed someone else's shoes. We were at the locker room. Those things are not true. They don't know how to come out and tell you. Remember, you have to work on the internal them. So this message is for each and every one of you. There's so many people this message is for. Dads, I need you. I need you. Dads against dirty, and dirty stands for violence. Tomorrow is my birthday. It was the day I was born. But tomorrow there's something really special going to be happening with me. And in order for us to get through this, I want to share with you freedom. I want to share with you forgiveness. I see you out there. I know you're with me, but I need you to know more than just my dirty little stories or your neighbor's dirty little stories. I need us to talk about the movement, how we stop this, how we make a difference, how we bring awareness, what we provide. We provide more food, more housing, all those things. I need you to be a part of that, and I don't have enough time on Facebook Live to go through that. But in the movement, Dads Against Dirty, when the men stand up and say, yes, we will be a part of this, the women are automatically going to follow. They're going to be a part of it. So dads, if you will go on to gracelholden.com or to Dirty the Book, but go to Grace L. Holden, you'll find it. There's even Dads Against Dirty. Fill in the call to action, your name, your email, the information's being asked of, and say, yes, this is grassroots efforts. Tell everybody, share the video. Tell the world this needs to get to the right people. We talked about on Billy Dorsey's radio station what happened with John Gray. There are many, many John Grays out there that he had a molestation situation. And I won't repeat it because I don't know all his story, but he has shared it at the Lakewood Church. He is sharing it on the O Network. There are more people like him, large voices, and I bring those voices up because our voices all put together can speak to the one who has the large voices, and the more voices that are out there, the more people that become helped. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the last thing, grabbed and stabbed, the dirty little secret about domestic abuse, verbal and physical abuse. We're going to talk about the city tours that are coming up. There is a Facebook page, Dirty the Book. I don't know how to find it outside of my own Facebook, so I will try to make sure you get invited. If you're not invited, please look for it. We're going to talk about the tours and what those are going to be like, and the walks, Dads Against Dirty. Will you come out and walk with me? Will you come out and walk with us, the victims and the victors? We're going to have those. Those are all on the page of Dirty the Book, the Facebook page. So I'm asking that you join us in the movement. And pray for me that as I tell these stories, I relive them. Some things I buried away. And then as I begin to remember them, I go, oh yeah, that did happen to me. And then I'll give you the next story, how I went from the ugly duckling to the girl who had it going on. I thought, because of the things that I did, the ugly, dirty things that I did, that I was tricked into doing. I didn't even know what it was called then. So as we end this broadcast, this Facebook Live part 2 of Oh, the Tricks That They Play, just know this, I am your voice. I am here for you. Share with me. Join the movement. Get the book. You can get the book right on gracelholden.com. You can get a case of books. You can get a case of book is 20 books. Case of books is 20 books. I have some people getting 5 books, getting 10 books. You could put in a different number when you go into PayPal. I want to make sure you all know that we need to give those books to people who need them. Thank you for giving me that like and that share and those hearts and that love and those prayers. Together, we can stop the violence. Stop. I need our dads, and you don't have to be a paternal dad. You can be an uncle, a brother, a friend, but I do need, the movement is named DADS because it stands for Dads Against Dirty. Dirty stands for violence. It is a movement for all men, all women, young boys, young girls. It is a movement for all of us to join together. And we will stop the violence, bringing awareness, education, forgiveness, and freedom days. So we will talk more about that tomorrow. I will be in Seattle. We will have a nice little time together, a little book reading, and then I'll come on and do the last Facebook Live with you. We will share, and I want you guys to stick it out with me. Share that very first video, Dirty Little Secrets #1. Get it out there on YouTube. Tell everybody about it because that's an eye-opener and that video brings people in. Thank you again. This is Grace L. Holden. We had a dirty win on tonight. We won. We win. This is part 2 of Oh, the Tricks That They Play. Share the video. Much love and hugs to each and every one of you. And I appreciate all of your support. DirtyTheBook.com is available right now. GraceLHolden.com. Get the book. God bless you and thank you for joining. Share the video.